So with this demonstration, we're going to talk about parallel paths. And really the story behind this is why we don't connect the grounds and neutrals together in a sub-panel. This is always perplexing to inspectors. That why can't we? I don't understand the problem. So I'll show you what I've done here. We've got the main wire coming in, and in this box I've joined together, wire netted together, 4 paths. So it's like I've taken one neutral wire and I've made 4 different ways for that current on the neutral wire to get to each one of these switches, and that's why there's 4 switches. I've run 2 of the wires are number 14 wire, one's a number 12 wire, and one's a number 10 wire. That will give me different amperages on those wires as I do different combinations of tests with the amp probe, which is this guy here. So we've got power coming in, and I've switched the neutrals for this so that I can do different combinations. I can have the 2 14s on at the same time, or just the number 10 on at the same time. So we'll turn on this first switch, and this is just a normal circuit. I've got one 14 gauge wire and this number 14 gauge here, the black and the white, just a normal circuit. It lights up this 250 watt light bulb. That's 2 amps, give or take a little bit. It's really a great size bulb to use because 2 is an easy number to deal with, as you'll see. So if I take my amp probe and I'll turn it on, you'll see I have 2 amps plus a little bit on the hot, and you'll see on the neutral I will also have 2 amps, same amount. So electricity is coming to the source and returning to the source. That's all that this is doing. So now let's turn on, I'll turn on the other 14 gauge wire. So now I have 2 paths back to the transformer for that current to flow on. You'll see we still have 2 amps 2 amps on the 14 gauge hot side, and look what happens when we pick up one of the 14s. So we have half of it now. So half the current's flowing on one of the neutrals, half the current's flowing on the other neutral. Parallel paths, 2 ways back. So now we'll add the number 12 in, and we'll look at the current that's on the 14 is now 0.68. And this one is 0.62. The 12 is 0.78. So the more of it flows on the number 12 than on the 14. Now I'll turn on the 10, and we'll see that the biggest percentage of the current is going to flow on the bare ground wire. This is, what is it? What do we got? 0.86. So watch what happens to that 0.86 as I turn off some of the other paths. See how it's going to jumps up a little bit more. If I get rid of the other 14, it jumps up even more. If I jump up this, it's all going back on that bare ground. So let's just say it's flowing on the normal circuit, our 14 gauge wire circuit. We'll turn on 1, but leave on 10. You can see that 1.5 amps of that 2 amps is running on the bare ground wire. Instead of, it's not just the factor that it takes all paths. The path with the least resistance takes most of it. So you can clearly see that if I'm in a trench somewhere with the ground wire taken apart, and I hold one end in one hand, the other hand in the other, sayonara in 1.2 microseconds, as they said on Titanic, right? You just can't allow that current to flow through your heart, and that's why we don't connect them together in the sub panel. I think that's. Any other questions? That's all I got for you.